Welcome, my dear students. So excited to meet you again in another episode of our program for English language for first prep under the supervision of the Ministry of Education. أهلا بكم أعزائي الطلبة في حلقة جديدة من حلقات برنامجنا للصف الأول الإعدادي للغة الإنجليزية تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. Today we have the revision. النهاردة هنعمل revision. And in the revision, I think the revision sessions will be very useful for you to be able to check all the information we have covered during the last episodes. Let's start by the revision. Let's go. Okay, we will start our session by the dialogue. And the dialogue is a very important question in the exam. And we have two ways for the dialogues in the exam. First, to ask you to complete a whole sentence, يعني تكمل الجملة كاملة, to complete a question or a sentence or an answer, or to complete the dialogue with one word. If I'm asking you to complete the dialogue with one word, you have to guess the meaning and to choose the suitable word according to the context in front of you. يعني لو قدامك الدايلوج وأنا طلبت من حضرتك إن أنت تكمله one word, you have to read the sentence carefully and to guess, تخمن suitable word from the context, من الcontext اللي قدامك. First of all, we have to read the complete dialogue. لازم أهم حاجة إن أنت تقرأ الدايلوج كله مرة واحدة to be able to know the whole idea or the general idea of the dialogue. First, teacher. Today we are going to talk recycling. Student, what space recycling mean? This is a question. معناه إيه recycling? Teacher, it means that we can space things again. إحنا بنعمل إيه في الأشياء؟ Student, reuse things. That's a space idea. دي إيه؟ فكرة إيه؟ Teacher, it will help us get rid space pollution. والpollution يعني التلوث. هو بيساعدنا to get rid إيه؟ It's a complete expressions. معناه نتخلص. يبقى let's answer بقى. Teacher, today we are going to talk recycling. هنتكلم عن recycling. The preposition هنا should be about. هنتكلم عن. Today we are going to talk about recycling. Student, what space recycling mean? هنا this is a question, يبقى I have to use an auxiliary. I have to check the tense. لازم أعرف التنس الأول. Look at the answer of the question. It means. هنا I added s to the verb. يبقى this is a present simple question. يبقى لازم أستخدم ال question ده في present simple. Which auxiliary I can use in the present simple? إيه auxiliary اللي هقدر أستخدمه مع present simple? I can use do or does. هنا what space recycling. Recycling ده شيء. يبقى I have to use does. يبقى what does recycling mean? إيه معنى recycling؟ بعد كده teacher, it means that we can space things again. معنى recycling إن إحنا بنعمل إيه في الأشياء؟ We can use things again. بنستخدم الأشياء تاني. بنقدر نعيد استخدامها. يبقى المينينج بتاع use things again اللي هو reuse things. أنت تقصد استخدام الأشياء مرة أخرى. That's a idea. If I want to describe the idea, I have to say that's a good idea. دي فكرة جيدة. That's a good idea. That's a great idea. كل الexpressions دي ممكن استخدمها. طيب teacher, it will help us get rid pollution. يبقى it will help us to get rid of pollution. Get rid of pollution. أقدر أتخلص من pollution أو التلوث. تمام؟ Read the story and answer the questions. The Old Man and the Sea. Here it's an example for the comprehension by Ernest Hemingway. The writer of this comprehension, Ernest Hemingway. Santiago was an old fisherman. Santiago كان صياد عجوز. He felt worried, كان قلقان, because the last time he caught a fish was 84 days ago. On the 85th day, he felt a big fish at the end of his fishing line. هو حس إن في big fish، في سمكة كبيرة موجودة at the end of his fishing line أو في السنارة بتاعته. But the fish was stronger than Santiago. الفيش كانت أقوى من سانتياغو. It took 2 days for him to finally pull it to the boat. وده تطلب منه وقت 2 days، يومين كاملين for him to finally pull it to the boat. يقدر يجرها للبوت بتاعه. Then the sharks came. Suddenly الشاركس، احنا قلنا الشاركس اللي هي أسماك القرش. When Santiago returned to his home، لما سانتياغو رجع come back to his home on the beach على الشاطئ، he had no fish. ما كانش للأسف معاه أي أسماك. only a skeleton. What's the meaning of skeleton؟ اللي هي الهيكل العظمي. كان بس لقى الskeleton of the big fish. He felt weak and slept for a long time. But the other fishermen saw how big the fish was and knew that he was brave to catch it. بس كان في فايدة من اللي حصل ده، إن other fishermen الصيادين التانيين قدروا يفهموا. They realized that it took him a great effort، تطلب مجهود عظيم to be able to pull this big fish، إن هو يصطاد البيج فيش دي. Santiago lost the fish. للأسف فقد الفيش. But the other fishermen now respected him more than ever. Respected him يعني احترموه. What's the meaning of respect؟ يعني to have a great opinion or a good opinion about someone because he did something good. عمل شيء جيد. تمام؟ To admire or to have a good opinion about someone. Respect يعني يحترم. Read the story again and answer the questions. Okay, we have read the story. Who is the main character؟ مين الكاركتر عندنا؟ Of course it is Santiago. Santiago ده an old fisherman، كان صياد. How did Santiago feel when he didn't catch any fish for 84 days؟ كان إيه شعور سانتياغو لما ما قدرش يصطاد أي أسماك لمدة 84 days؟ He felt worried، كان قلقان. Why did he take 2 days to pull the fish onto the boat؟ ليه ده تطلب 2 days عشان يقدر يسحب الفيش؟ Because the fish was very big and strong. كانت كبيرة جدا و at the same time كانت قوية. Hey, why was there only a skeleton left when he returned to the beach? When Santiago went to the beach, when he came back to the beach, he saw just a skeleton. He didn't have any fish. ما كانش معاه أي fish. ليه؟ Because the sharks ate the whole fish. أكلت السمكة كلها and left only the skeleton. What did the other fishermen think of Santiago? What was the reaction of the other fishermen? The opinion of the other fishermen? Exactly, they respected him. احترموه جدا because they realized، هم أدركوا that the fish was very strong and big. What do you think the story teaches us؟ الستوري بتعلمنا إيه؟ Of course that the story teaches us that the life is difficult for fishermen. أكيد حياة الصيادين صعبة. And they must work hard to live. Choose the correct answer بقى. After answering the questions of the comprehension, let's move to another question. Choose the correct answer which will be related to Santiago. Hey, remember that we all have a A. We all have a A in our life. كل واحد فينا عنده role ولا rule ولا door or head. Role means what؟ Hey, to have a role يعني يعني يبقى عندك دور. Okay? To have a part in the life. يبقى عندك دور في الحياة، جزء في الحياة. Rule يعني إيه؟ الرول اللي هي الرولز يعني القوانين. تمام؟ دور يعني باب، head رأس. يبقى of course remember that we all have a role. كلنا عندنا دور في الحياة. The other other fisherman knew that he was a to catch the big fish. Worried, brave, coward, weak. The other fisherman knew, they realized that he was so a to catch such a big fish. Of course he was brave. كان شجاع. A leaflet is a paper that has information about something. This is related to an information in Unit 11. Hey, what is the meaning of leaflet? Leaflet يعني ايه يا ولاد؟ الليفلت معناها المنشور. Okay? When I have a piece of paper that gives me instructions or information about specific subject على شيء معين. يبقى a leaflet is of course a folded paper that has information about something. بتديني معلومات عن شيء محدد. Santiago is the main A in the story of the old man in the sea. Santiago was the main يعني الرئيسي. the essential. Skeleton هيكل عظمي. Character شخصية. Poster يعني شعار أو poster يعني ملصق. و fishing ولا side. يبقى of course it will be character. Santiago is the main character, the protagonist. هو البطل بتاع الستوري. Ernest Hemingway is the A of the old man in the sea. Ernest Hemingway is exactly the writer of the old man in the sea. Writer اللي هو the person who writes stories and novels. He A when he saw his old friends. He smiled, he smelled, he gave, he painted. He smiled, ابتسم, smelled, شم, gave, أعطى, or painted. يبقى of course it will be smiled. هو ابتسم when he saw his old friends. ابتسم لما شاف زمايله القدام. She ran for 4 hours. So she felt weak, scary, strong, afraid. After running for 4 hours, بعد ما تجري لمدة 4 ساعات, you will be A. You will be, of course, very weak. طبعا هتبقى ضعيف ومرهق وتعبان. Reading stories can us lessons for life, can know, ولا can get, ولا learn or teach. يبقى of course reading stories can excellent teach us lessons. بيعلمنا دروس عن الحياة. طيب make the conditional sentences. If I want to use from this or to change these words, this group of words to a sentence in the zero condition. Let's remember كده the zero condition together. احنا قلنا الزيرو condition اللي هي when I use the if conditional to talk about facts or general truth. يعني لما بستخدم ال if conditional عشان أتكلم على fact أو general truth. تمام؟ يعني إيه؟ لو جينا نقول look at this. When you leave ice in the sun, it becomes water. أنا هنا استخدمت when instead of if. When و if are the same. When you leave ice in the sun, لما بنسيب الآيس في الشمس, it becomes water. بيتحول للwater. This is possibility. يعني can I use the first condition? Of course not. I have to use the zero because it's a fact. طبيعي إن لما أسيب التلج في الشمس هيسيح. When you throw away plastic, it stay in the environment for years. Okay. يبقى هنا of course this is another fact or a general truth. When you throw away plastic, لما بنرمي البلاستيك it stays in the environment. لأنه للأسف مش بيتحلل. Okay? So the plastic is very harmful for the environment. عشان كده هو مضر جدا للبيئة. If see rubbish on the ground, I throw it in the bin. يبقى of course تمام zero. If I see rubbish on the ground, I throw it in the bin. يبقى احنا في zero condition بنستخدم present simple in the two clauses. تمام؟ when a seed gets water and light it grow into a healthy plant. لما السيد البذرة بتتعرض للووتر واللايت it grow into a healthy plant. يبقى this is another fact. طبيعي ان لما البذرة بديها مية واديها بعرضها للضوء it grows بتكبر. we add s احنا هنا اضفنا s علشان البروناون it لازم بياخد s or es or ies in the present simple. If you not water plants they not grow. Another fact zero condition يبقى if you don't water plants they don't grow. لو ما سقيناش النباتات أكيد مش هتنمو وتكبر. I walk to school if the bus not arrive. I walk to school if the bus. Hey, how can I negate the sentence in the present simple? If the bus doesn't arrive. Excellent. If the bus doesn't arrive. Okay. Got it يا ولاد? I think now we can answer all the questions related to the if conditional very easily. بسهولة تماما. Correct the following sentence. Let's correct بقى. Another question in the exam to correct the mistake. And it's very easy one. ده سهل جدا because according to this question you can see the mistake. انت بتقدر تشوف المistake قدامك. And all what you have to do is to correct it. بس هتcorrect it بتصلحه according to the sentence in front of you. If you peel the orange, does it float in water? هنا this is a this is if. If you peel the orange, does it float in water? Can I use does and put s to the verb at the same sentence or at the same question? Of course not. طبعا لأ. يبقى I'll use the base form float without adding anything. Water becomes ice where it's cold. Hey, water becomes ice. المية بتتحول للآيس where it's cold. where حيث بنسقعها. لا طبعا I have to use when اللي هي like if. يبقى water becomes ice when it's cold. لما بتتبرد. You are late. You might hurry up. You are late. حضرتك متأخر. يبقى you might hurry up or you should hurry up. Remember when we talked about using should and shouldn't قلنا if it's advisable or preferable to use to do something you can use should. لو أنا شايفة إن ده شيء مفضل أو شيء مستحسن إن حضرتك تعمل حاجة I'll use should to give advice. You are late, you should hurry up. أنت لازم تسرع. I'm giving him advice. If you heat water to 100 degrees, it boil? Of course not. It boils. It boils. تمام؟ بتغلي عند درجة حرارة 100. We shouldn't help our elders. إحنا لا يجب أن نساعد الكبار. Of course not. This is wrong. This is mistake. يبقى I have to say you should help our elders. Complete with a suitable word. أول حاجة in this exercise we have some sentences and we have to know or to get the suitable word to complete this sentence. هنا هو بيدينا as if it's a definition. تمام؟ It has a hard shell to protect it. Do you remember the aquatic creatures? الحيوانات المائية أو المخلوقات البحرية اللي اتكلمنا عنهم. Hey, it has a hard shell to protect it. يبقى of course it's what? Excellent. The turtle. تمام؟ It has a hard shell to protect it. The turtle. طبعا هي اللي عندها صدفة عشان تحمي ظهرها. It is the biggest and heaviest sea animal. The biggest animal in the sea or in the ocean? Of course it is the whale. الحوت. تمام؟ It has 8 legs. It lives in the sea. It has 8 legs. Do you remember when we said that we have a creature in the water have tentacles? وقلنا ان التنتكلز اللي هي الارمز or the legs of this creature. ها I can say spider has 8 legs بس he gives me a specification. هو اداني تحديد it lives in the sea. يبقى it will be the octopus. تمام؟ the octopus which has tentacles. It has big teeth. It's a dangerous sea animal. ها يبقى it has big teeth. عنده أسنان كبيرة وقوية very sharp. It's dangerous sea animal. يبقى of course it is the shark أو سمك القرش. It stings you when you touch it. It lives in the sea. Again another specification that it's an aquatic creature. ده حيوان مائي. It stings you. بيلسعك when you touch it. Of course it is the jellyfish أو قنديل البحر. Many animals have this behind them. People don't have one. الانيمالز بس who which have this behind them. عندهم شيء في الخلف كده. What is it? Exactly. It is the tail. الديل. People catch fish with fishing. عادة we catch fish by what? Excellent. By the fishing lines. الفishing lines أو السنارات. It makes a reef at the bottom of the ocean. Excellent. Coral. ها الكورال ريف يا ولاد. الشعب المرجانية. الكورالز هي الكريتشرز اللي بتعمل الريفز. Okay. Got it يا ولاد? By this exercise we have revised together all the aquatic creatures in Unit 11, and now we are going to move to another question, which is correct the underlined word. If you put wood in water, it will float. Hey, it will float? Of course not. This is a fact. This is a general truth. يبقى it floats. It floats. This is not the first condition of if. دي مش first condition. ده مش possibility in the future or in the present to use will plus infinitive. يبقى if we put wood in water, it floats. هيطفو. طبعا دي fact. The water freezes when it's cold. المية freeze. Water is it. يبقى I have to say freezes. If metals are heated, they expanded. They expanded? No. I have to use the present simple of the verb expand. يبقى if metals are heated, لو سخنا المعادن they expand. هتتمدد. You mustn't stop smoking. You mustn't stop smoking. Smoking is a very harmful habit. عادة سيئة جدا. يبقى you mustn't. أنت لا يجب أن تمتنع عن التدخين. Of course not. You must necessity. ده في obligation هنا، في ضرورة إن حضرتك لازم توقف السموكينج. We shall eat fruit and vegetables. Of course this is an advisable thing. دي حاجة محبوبة أو مفضلة. يبقى I have to say you should eat fruit and vegetables. أنت لازم تاكل fruits و vegetables. You won't talk in the library. You won't talk in the library. يعني أنت لن تتكلم ولا you shouldn't. أنت لا يجب أن تتكلم في library أو في المكتبة. أوكي؟ يبقى this is something which you don't have to do. أنت مش مضطر تعمله. دي حاجة المفروض ما تعملهاش. You are tired. You should went to bed. You are tired يعني حضرتك مجهد. You should went to bed يعني أنت you should go to bed. إحنا قلنا when I use should or shouldn't, I have to use the base form, the verb without adding anything. من غير أي شيء. يبقى go. يبقى you are tired. You should go. الانفينيتيف. Okay. Got it يا ولاد? By this we have covered all the information during Unit 11. we talked about the if conditional in the zero type, we talked about the aquatic animals, we explained how, we revised how to use should and shouldn't, must and mustn't, and we answered a comprehension question about the fisherman who was trying to catch a big fish. I think by this we have covered mainly the points we have explained in the previous session. Thank you so much and see you next time, inshallah. Bye.